Today we're dealing with Dcad lesson 12E, and we're still dealing with the site plan. One of the things I did not do on the last go around was to take this dimension out of the house itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and just grab this point right here by right clicking on it, snapping to it, and pulling it over a little bit so that it's out of the house. And then I'm just going to left click and hit escape, and so that the actual dimension text is out of the house. Now I'm going to hit Control W to zoom out, and as you can see, we still have all of our site data, building areas, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that I'm wanting to do also is to actually change the contour line. So I'm going to zoom back up to that area of the site plan with the contour lines and select them. And actually the darker line is at the 10-foot contour interval, and the red lines are at the 2-foot contour intervals. So I'm going to select just this first red 2-foot contour interval red line, and I'm going to open the info box, and I'm going to change the line type to hidden. And I want it, so I'm going to see if line scale 2 looks okay. I'm just going to click somewhere on the drawing, and it looks like it's really pretty good. I think maybe I'll make it, select it again and make it line scale 3, just a little bit larger dashes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it that color for now, and I'm going to make the other red line, the 2-foot contour interval, the same by using the same as command in the info box. So I'm just clicking that finger pointy same as command, taking it down to the line I just changed and clicking near it, and you can see that it changed the other red 2-foot interval contour line to be the same. We'll hit escape, maintain the same color and everything. The 10-foot contour interval, I'm going to leave this kind of a brownish color, but I'm going to make the dashes the same size. So I'm going to actually change the line type to hidden and change the line scale to 3 and click somewhere in the drawing, and so that's maintained. So one of the other things that I need to do is I'm going to hit Control W to zoom out again, and I'm going to go to layers. And I'm going to go up here to layer 14, which is the image import layer, because I want to look at that image again to see what the actual elevations are of those contour lines, because I believe that's still on the image drawing. And I'm going to move, actually just click OK and see if I can see an actual image dimension somewhere. Let me Control W. And that just basically zooms us out. And so I'm going to zoom up on this area to see if I actually see a dimension line right here, or a dimension notation. I'm going to zoom up on that so I can see it a little better. And so that says 1970. Control W again. So that's part of this same darker 10-foot contour interval line. So that is 1970 elevation. To the south, the contour intervals actually increase in elevation in this particular drawing, and to the north they decrease. So that means that this red line right here would be 1972. So I'm going to zoom up near the end of this red line, and I'm going to go to layers and hide the image import layer because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to hit T for text. I'm still in layer 24, which is my site text. T, and I'm still at 8.875, which is the actual text size that I want for this. And I'm going to just arbitrarily change my text angle to 90 because that means it's just flat, and that's really normally what I use. And so now I'm going to click in the text box and type 1972, and I'm going to hit the apostrophe, which is the foot symbol. And I'm going to bring this text down here. You can see now that it says 1972 feet. And I'm going to right-click at the end of the line. And now when I move my cursor around, it kind of wants to rotate that text around. So I'm going to try to align that text pretty closely with the line. And I can either go up here hit comma just to see how it aligns, go up here to another point somewhere, or I can just hit K and snap to this line right in the vicinity of the text, which I'm going to do this time. And so there's the 1972. But what I want to do is I want to take that text and move it down to past the end of the line there. So I right-click, but it selected the line. I'm going to hit Enter, and it selects the text. Now I'm going to hit M for Move, and just pull my text down here, and left-click, and there it is. And I hit Escape. So that's our 1972 contour line. That's going actually around the house and partway through the garage. So this next one up here, I'm going to hit Control R to get rid of all that gunk. And I'm going to hit T, and that's going to be 1970. So I'm just changing the 2 to a 0. And I'm going to just set it over here for now. Just left-click and zoom up on the area, and then select it, and hit M for Move, M. And I kind of get the angle that I want it at, which is right about here, and I'm going to hit K so it'll snap to the line, K, and then I'm going to hit M, and just move it off to the end of the line there, and hit the scroll button, hit Escape, and there's our 1970 line. I just realized I did not change this type of line to the dash like I did this other one, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to select that line, pull up my info box, use the same as command, and just click on this dashed line so that it's converted into the dashed line that we want. Now, since we don't have any additional text on this 10-foot contour interval line, I need to let everybody know that this is a continuation of that same elevation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Escape. I'm going to hit T for text again, and it's still 1970 feet. And I'm going to just right-click to snap to the end of the line and come down here and hit K. And then I'm going to right-click, and it usually wants to select lines or curves first, and I'm going to hit Enter, so it selects the next thing closest to it, which is the actual 1970 text. Hit M for Move and pull it out just a little bit. Click, and hit Escape. And so there's our 1970 contour line. Now our final contour line will, because we're actually dropping in elevation by 2 feet, it'll be at 1968 feet. So I'm just going to hit T, and I'm going to just change the 70 to 68. Oop, apparently I should have a 9 in there. Okay, so anyway, that's okay. I'm going to now just right-click at the end of this line and just come down pretty close to the text there and hit K. And now I'm going to select that text one more time, hit M for Move, and pull it out just like the other ones, and then click, hit Escape. And so now we have all of our contour elevation notations adjacent to the contour lines. And now we're going to start filling out our site data. We'll come back and change line types to some degree a little bit later on in the project. But for right now, I'm going to hit Control R to regenerate, get rid of some of the artifacts that are sometimes left over in the drawing. And I'm going to hit Control W to zoom to fit the screen. And I'm looking at my site data here. And all these red text areas are areas that either need to be filled in. And usually when I fill these in, I change them to black. The fact that they're red tells me that it's something I need to address. Not all of this information will necessarily be kept in this particular drawing because it's not necessarily all relevant to this project. So these little lines that are off to the left of the text allow me to pull entire lines out and move everything up. So it's sort of like a place marker that allows me to keep everything aligned and at a more civilized order, shall we say. So I'm going to hit Z for zoom, and we don't know what our index to sheets is yet because we haven't worked out the sheet layout, but we'll do that later on in the project. Building areas, we do have some of that information, so we'll be filling some of that stuff out, and the site data is what we're going to address initially here. So I'm going to hit Z for zoom, and I'm going to zoom up on that site data area with just a zoom rectangle. And Actually, the client's name is John and Jane Doe, and so, but their phone number is not correct. So I'm just going to select that, and their actual phone number is 541-482, and I'm going to click in here and change these 4 zeros to 1234, which we're pretending is their phone number. And the other thing I want to do is I want to now turn that to black text because it's been addressed. It's been filled out. It's one thing that's done. And as you can see, right now our black is the color that we'll be drawing, or anything that we do will be happening in that black color. So I'm going to go down here to where the A is, and it says color apply to selection. So if I click that, you'll see in the info box it just turned to black. I can click somewhere in the screen and you can see that John and Jane Doe 541-482-1234, that they're all squared away there. Now they're in Ashland, Oregon, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select their address and fill it in, and it is actually just 123 Easy Street. Must be very fortunate people. And then I'm going to go over here and to the A, which is apply to selection, that color of selection. Click it, and again it turns to black. Now the assessor's map number is actually going to be 391 East 09 AA. So I'm going to change that, these last 4 characters, to 09, and I want to be in caps AA. And again, I'm going to change that to black because that's been addressed. And the tax lot number, we're just making some of this stuff up, but the tax lot number is going to be 1234. Okay, and so I'm selecting in the info box those 4 zeros. I'm just going to type in 1234 and change the color of that red text to black by coming over to the A again, and that's taken care of. So zoning for this particular lot is R-1-5, so I'm going to select that in zoning and just change the 0 to a 1-5, hit enter, and then I'm going to change the color of that to black because that's been addressed. Historic designation, there's nothing historic about this place, so I'm just going to select that and type in. Notice that I'm using all caps. Typically in plans, in drafting, I use all capital letters because they're just a little bit easier for people to read out in the field. So I'm selecting this red text which says primary contributing, and I'm just going to select that and type in N/A, not applicable. So, and I'm going to turn that to black by going back over here to the color toolbox and clicking the A, and it changed the info box color to black. The lot area, I don't know what the lot area is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control W, zoom back down. I'm going to select a lot, and down here there's a selection box for show area info. So I'm going to select that, and it tells me that the lot area is 6,599.8392 feet. So I'm just going to, I don't need that 92, that'll actually round up to 0.84, but I'm going to select that portion, hit Control C to copy it, and now I'm going to zoom back up on this area of the site data, select that text, and just to the left of the space, to the left of square feet, I'm going to select those 5 zeros and right click and hit paste. And actually I'm going to change that 3 to a 4 because it would actually round up to that. We want to be precise. So at this point in time, I don't know what the percentage of acres is, and I usually include that in the drawing, so I'm leaving this red at this point in time because I want to know what those acres are. So I'm going to call up an Excel spreadsheet here real quick, and Actually, I'm going to select this 6599.84 square feet and copy that so I have it. And then I can just click. And I'm going to click back up on my spreadsheet. Now I'm going to go to File. And then I'm going to New. And my templates. And acre percentage is one of my spreadsheets. And I'm going to click that to open it. Okay. And there it is. So I can just paste that number, the 6,599.84 feet in there, and automatically that spreadsheet will tell me what the fraction of acres is, and so on and so forth. So, and what percentage of an acre it is. So, so it's. Let's go back over here to my. So here I just have the decimal of acres. So it actually isn't even in the percent. So I'm clicking back down on my spreadsheet down here. And open up acre percentage, and it's 0.15. So I'm going to hit Control C to copy it, go back over to my Dcad drawing, click on that text, select these 3 zeros here, and hit Control V to paste it in there, 0.15 acres. So that's how big that lot is in acres. Now it's still red, so I'm going to click over here on the Apply to Selection and click that. And now it's turned to black text. And when I click somewhere in the drawing, you can see that it's turned black now. Now we have allowable impervious surface area. The allowable impervious surface area for the lot in this zone happens to be 50%, which means that we can only cover 50% of that lot with buildings and impervious surfaces, concrete driveways, so on and so forth. So, so what I need to do is I need to find out what 50% is of this full lot, so that I can put that in this next line. So I'm going back to my spreadsheet, and it's all up here. So I'm going to just click a cell down in here, and actually in this particular case. And I don't expect you to necessarily have Excel spreadsheets, and we'll be dealing with this also downrange in Google Sheets, which is a free spreadsheet program. But in the meantime, this is what we have. So I'm going to actually enlarge this just a little bit and go to here where it says Review. And I'm going to unprotect the sheets. That means I can mess around with cells in the sheet that weren't previously allowable. And I'm going to just type equals, which tells it that there's a formula coming, and this cell times, which is an asterisk, 0.5, and then hit enter. And so this is 50% of our entire lot area, or our allowable impervious surface area. So I'm going to just Control C to copy that, and go back to my Dcad drawing. Select this, and I'm going to select those 6 zeros and hit Control V to put that number in there. And here I'll just replace the first 0 with a 5, so it reads 50%. I can hit enter. It changes all that, and all I need to do now over there is click on the A for apply that black color to selection. And that you can see that that's done. Click on the screen, and we're good to go. Projected impervious surface area. In order to do that, we don't have a driveway on this drawing, so I'm going to draw that in the next lesson. So this won't be too long. So at this point in time, we're going to hold off. I'm hit Control W, and we're going to hold off on the site data information for now, and that will conclude Dcad lesson 12E.